There you go.
Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group. This is October 17th, 2024. This is our 140th study group. Be sure I'm sharing. Tonight we have DavidOdepidan. He's going to be talking about influencing without authority. You know, as business analysts, we need the authority, but we're not often given it. He has key strategies for business analysts. And I'm having trouble advancing. That's not it either. Let me do it this way. Here we go. Now I can advance. My name is Thea Soren. I'm the president of this IIBA Tampa Bay chapter. I'm also the vice president of career and professional development, which means it's my job to help you. If you need to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm also the founder of the BA Force Multiplier Movement. I'm one of the authors of the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge version 3 and one of the authors of the Business Analysis Bridging the Gap Between Industries. We love to celebrate our wins. We have these folks that have reached out to say because of our chapter, because of our efforts, they were able to pass their certification. We're very excited about being of value to our communities. Those that are in red have gone on to be leadership in other IIBA chapters. Those that are in green are leadership or have been leadership in our own chapter. And Promise, the one on the bottom, actually did a presentation on Salesforce to us last week. So we're pretty excited that these folks continue to give back to our community. Our leadership, this is our board. You'll notice a few new faces. Hari is there on the far right. Dr. Rejoice is right there underneath, and Olga is down there. These are our newest members of our board. We love it that these folks want to give back to our communities, but I have one more board member position. If you want to be a contributing member to our chapter, to our community worldwide, reach out to me. We'll talk about what our needs are and what your needs are and see if we can help each other. We have a worldwide community. You can see the hurricane here as it went across Florida. We are sensitive to that, but we are appreciative of all the folks that live all around the world that are part of our chapter. These are folks that have joined the IIBA and identified Tampa Bay as the chapter of their home. If you do not have a chapter, we would love to have you as a member of our chapter. If we serve your needs better than anybody else, we can be your chapter. We've given you several ways to be able to reach out to us. We have our LinkedIn group. We have our meeting recordings on YouTube, 130 hours of goodness out there, guys. We have Bob's incredible index at rpchurchill.com that he has put in an immense amount of work, giving you an index by topic, by subject, by speaker, so that you can jump directly to the correct recording. We also have our website that we have the calendar of our events on. We like to say thank you to our study group advisors, Bob Churchill and Esther. Bob has recently been nominated as one of the finalists. Actually, both of them were nominated as Volunteers of the Year. Bob is one of the finalists for our region, and we're extremely proud of that because we know all of the work that he's done for us. If you'd like to see his website, it's rpchurchill.com, and he's got so much goodness out there, guys. If you live in Florida and you want to meet in person, reach out to me. I'm trying to set up some chapters, some branches for our chapter in different areas. If you have 6 people that you work with and you want to meet, let me know. Let's get it worked out. I've been advertising this for a couple of months now. I haven't had any responses. So if I don't get any responses by the end of this year, I'll probably stop trying for a while. But if you're out there, let me know. Our Director of Emerging Professionals is Kennedy Davis. Kennedy is working with colleges in the Florida area, working to find people who want to graduate college with a professional organization membership, with perhaps a professional certification. Make them stand head and shoulders above all of those other folks that are graduating college. Reach out to Kennedy. Associations we are partnering with. We are partnering with the Tampa Bay Women in Agile, the Tampa Bay Product Group. A few weeks ago, we had a meeting with them and it was wonderfully enlightening. We're also partnering with a couple of other chapters with the IIBA, the Ireland group and the Philippines chapter. I'm working with them on a series of certification courses. And the Bluegrass chapter has come alongside of us to give us some mentoring, as they are a little more mature in some areas than we are, and we do appreciate that. If you're interested in using Watermark Learning for your education or the Educate 360, they've given us a discount code of 40% off of any of their products, which are business analysis, project management, and a few other things. It gives you 40% off their classes, study groups, flashcards, everything. Adaptive US has given us a discount code as well for 20% off of their products. It's for all of their live classes, on-demand courses, excluding the IIBA exam vouchers. So you can reach out to them and use that discount code. We work on these certifications, the 7 certifications from the IIBA. The top 3 are BA certifications. The bottom 4 are other intangent certifications. If you need information about any of these, you can go to the IIBA.org website and get more information. But if it gets confusing, and sometimes it does, reach out to me and I'll be glad to walk you through it. Tonight, we have David talking about influencing without authority, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I want to first talk about what we have coming up in the next few weeks. Next week, we've got Tom Hendrickson talking about the care and feeding of developers. He says, working with developers can be challenging. Don't you wish they came with an owner's manual? He is a developer. He wants to talk to us as business analysts about how we can best work with developers, what they need from us, what we need from them, and how to collaborate effectively. The next week, in October 31st, Felicia is going to be joining us, talking about her workshops and techie visions, crafting a future in the digital world. She's got some career strategies to help you excel in your career as a business analyst. She's been a business analyst for a long time. She's also worked in software development for a long time. She's got some good lessons to teach us. In November, Pam Patterson's going to be talking about how to make your stakeholders talk. And whenever she told me about this, I actually asked her, I said, why wouldn't we want them to talk? She says, sometimes you don't want them to talk. Sometimes you want to be able to control how they talk and who they talk to. She's got strategies that she has found very successful. The last meeting of the year is our annual general meeting. We are going to have a few votes to bring in some of our new board members. We're going to talk about what we're planning for next year, and we want to hear your thoughts. Then November 15th through December 31st, we're going to take some time off. Guys, we've been doing these study groups every single week, all year long. And I applaud the efforts of my board, but we need a break too. So we're going to take some time off then. And then January 2nd, we're going to come back and we're going to have our very first social hour. We're going to catch up with each other. And I really want you to join us for that to start off the new year right. We want your input as to what you want us to renew or review. And we're going to tell you about the lineup we have. I am booking into May already. I've got so many people lined up with so many cool topics. We're going to do a month on the SDLC and actually walk through a real project. I can't tell you how excited I am, but I'm going to stop being excited for a few minutes and turn it over to David. So David, I'm going to stop sharing and let you have the screen.
All right, thank you, Thea. Thank you for having me here. Hello, everyone. Just tell me when you can see my screen, please. And if you can't see it, please let me know, okay?
Yeah. Not yet.
Confident is coming. Oh, it's starting. It's starting.
All right,
it's here. Okay, David, take it away.
Awesome. So I will say good morning from my end, and I will say good evening to you over there. It's great to be here. Thea, thank you for having me here. Esther, it's great connecting with you. Two amazing professionals, to record with. and also I'll be speaking on influencing without authority, key strategies for business analysts. Right. So she has done enough justice to that. My name is David Odepidan, and I'm the founder of BABOK. Right. So I won't go into that details. Okay. Right. A quick one before we go into the session proper. I know that perhaps you are meeting me for the very first time here, and I know I've connected with some people initially. So let's play a quick icebreaker. All right. So the icebreaker is two truth and a lie. Two truth and a lie. So I have over 100,000 followers on LinkedIn. I can drive a stick shift. I have 2 different degrees. So can you unmute your mic and tell me, or just identify, tell me the truth and tell me the lie? Who wants to go first?
I number 2 and 3 are the truths.
They are the truth.
I might be wrong, but I think so.
The first one is a lie.
Okay, okay. The first one is a lie.
Yeah.
All right. Any other person?
I don't know. There's not many of us that can drive a stick shift. You have to be old like me.
My wife even has a sticker that says on her car that says this is a stick shift.
Yeah.
It's a theft deterrent.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
can.
All right. All right. Let's move on. So apparently, I will say that you're right. The first person, second person. So I don't have up to 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, but definitely we might get there. You know, perhaps today or someday. So if you want to connect with me via LinkedIn, this is my name. Let's connect and let's network. All right. Okay. So moving on. Today, influencing without authority. You know, I'm gonna ask some rhetorical questions here, and I don't expect an answer from you. But if you have an answer, you can tell me at the end of this presentation. Okay. So the first question is this: does leadership require authority? Does leadership require authority? Okay. What happens if you don't have any authority as a business analyst? What happens if you don't have any authority as a business analyst? At the same time, can you still lead even though you don't have any authority? Okay. The last question I'm going to ask is this: can you still make change happen as a business analyst without having any authority? So that's some questions for you to ponder on, right? 6 factors right now makes a difference, and I will just go straight into that. Before I go straight into that, I will say a quick story. Right. So, few years ago, right, while I was working with a company, right, I use a company. So, I met this amazing lady, and she was working with another firm, and she told me this story, and I was really super duper inspired by it because it's really aligned to what I'm speaking to today. So, her name is Sarah. If you are Sarah on this call, just know that you are superb and you are fabulous. Okay. So, Sarah lacked a fancy title or formal authority. Okay. Sarah possessed a unique talent for bringing people together and driving projects forward. So what happened? One day, Sarah said the chief executive officer, okay, announced that a critical initiative to overhaul their CRM system, that's customer relationship management system, okay? And Sarah knew that this project was vital for the company's future. Do you know what she did? You know, most times it's good that we understand our environment, and it's also good that we are self-aware. So Sarah said she knew that this project was vital for the company's future. Definitely, when your chairman or the board or your C-level personnel, come out and say, you know what, we need to do this and put this to work. So she said, I knew this project was vital for the company's future. Okay. But she recognized the challenges it would face without proper stakeholder buying it. We all know that before you can do a bit of digital transformation, from the current state to a future state, definitely you have some blockers. You will hear stuff like, oh, I'm good. Why are we pushing? Why are we doing that? I'm okay with this system. Why do we need to change it? So what did she do? Sarah began an influence, campaign. I would say a little politician, I must say. And she started by having informal coffee chats with key team from different departments. Okay. Now, she ensured that she used all her techniques. Now, I'm going to take you back. I'm going to backtrack a bit. Sarah is just an employee without the fancy title. Okay. Now, what did she do? So, while having informal coffee chats with key team members from different departments, she listened actively, active listening. She practiced active listening to ensure that she understands their pain points and ideas. Now, when she finished that aspect, through this conversation, Sarah said that she built a network of allies and gathered valuable insight. Now, with that knowledge, Sarah crafted a compelling vision for the project because she was able to get key stakeholders, that's key team members, have informal chats with them, build relationship. Okay, she was able to leverage on the stakeholder mapping, people that are important to her and to the project itself. So Sarah crafted a compelling vision for the project. Now, she created a presentation which showcased how the new CRM would address each department because she was able to gather a requirement, she was able to analyze it, she was able to see the pain point and what she can adapt, what she can make better. So, while aligning with the company's overall goals, our expertise here, both the technical aspect and business aspect. So we have some business analysts. As business analysts, some people are good technically, while some, they've crafted a niche for themselves, just in the business domain. So Sarah leveraged on this and she said, I will organize a series, or I organize a series, of workshops to put them together. Now, bringing them together, she was able to sample their opinion. She was able to know what each person thinks about that project. She was able to know how she can provide solution to their problem or to their pain point, so to say. All right. Now, rather than Sarah dictating solutions to the stakeholders. She facilitated that discussion, which allowed stakeholders to contribute their ideas. So everyone in that meeting, they were able to air their opinion. Okay? Don't forget these questions I asked earlier. I'll come back to that. Now, by making everyone feel heard, and these are some of the qualities of a business analyst. We all know that. And if you don't know, I'll repeat it today. She fostered a sense of ownership in the project. However, while Tia was reading part of the next schedule, the speaker was saying, crafted this topic around technical department, the IT guys. Yeah, they can, they are handful sometimes, I must say. So Sarah, when resistance arose from the IT department due to concerns about implementation challenges, they were like, Sarah, this will be a bit tedious, to take us time. She didn't complain, she didn't push back. She never did any of that. So rather, she practiced empathy. She empathized with their worries and also worked alongside by going an extra mile to say that, you know what, guys, even though I know it will take some time, or we need to go an extra mile, I'll go that extra mile with you guys. I'm available. Now, what has she done? She has practiced empathy. This encouraged the IT guys to say, you know what, for you to say this to us, that means you are really ready to make this work. Okay? I respect and authenticity, won them over. I'll repeat that. I respect and being authentic won them over. Now, Sarah mentioned that throughout the project, she consistently communicated progress, celebrated wins, and gave credit to each team member. Now, what has she done? When you see your team member teamwork, when they perform better, always applaud them. It's not because you are just trying to allow them to showcase their work. Rather, you are building your allies in the organization. Okay? Now, this approach, with Sarah, built trust for her. Okay? Built trust in such a way that she was able to motivate others seamlessly. Now, as the project gained momentum, what Sarah did, right? Sarah said, even the senior, executives, those with authority, noticed, observed what she has done. Don't forget, Sarah has no fancy title. She was just an employee. Okay? Now, what she did, though she never had to assert authority to make this work, she didn't do any, she didn't say, oh, you know what, IT guys, we must do it this way. This is how we should do it. Gathering requirement from stakeholders. I'll give you what you need to know. This. I've done my feasibility study. This is what you need to understand. This is how we'll go about it. All right. The CRM overall was completed successfully without any blocker. Now, everybody, or all the stakeholders, let me put it that way. She mentioned all the stakeholders from across the organization praised Sarah's ability to unite diverse teams to work toward a common goal. All right. Now, in the end, this story is just a testament to say that the power of influence without authority okay, it's really, really important. She proved the right skills: empathy, communication, collaboration, problem solving, you name it. Now, a business analyst can lead, can inspire, regardless of their position in the organization. And this leads me to my next slide. So, what is influence? You know, some analysts say and mistakenly believe that they need formal authority to influence others. No. This leads to ineffective tactics, you know, like nagging and escalating to superiors. So that is why if you observed or you try to influence someone and they didn't budge, right? Perhaps they were nagging, that means something is not right. So instead, as business analysts, we should focus on leading through influence and building trust. Now, if you look at this, I said influence is effort over time. While I listened to Sarah's story, I observed that even in the organization, right, we normally have different misconceptions, if I put it that way, about influence, about persuasion, about coercion and manipulation. They are different. So, what is influence? What is coercion? What is manipulation and persuasion? So, as business analysts, okay, the common misconception is that influence, persuasion, manipulation, coercion, they are all the same thing. And this is just to prove, if you look at these 4 quadrants, you will see that the influence here, right? The positive side of it is, as long as your intent of your influence, okay, is to benefit everyone involved, then we can usually assume that it is positive. You are trying to be influential. Now, another side of it, there's self, there's everyone, there's behavior, there's belief. When you're trying to change people's belief or everyone's belief about a particular subject, that is persuasion. I won't go into that. Okay? So, at the same time, we need to understand that you might try to say Sarah had informal chat, or she organized a bit of, taking them on a journey to say, oh, what's your view about that? Some people can say, oh, she was manipulative. Oh, she tried finding her way around it. Oh, she played on their intelligence. However, I hope when you look at this quadrant, it answers your question. On the other hand, persuasion is based on logic, reason, and evidence. Let's look at Sarah's story. How did she get all the team, how did she get them together? How was she able to put them together? Now, I said she practiced effective communication. How do we communicate effectively? Right? How do we communicate effectively? What is effective communication? So I would say, before you can influence without authority, the cornerstone is called effective communication. As a business analyst, we should practice active listening. As a business analyst, we should focus on understanding stakeholders' needs and concerns before responding. So, before responding, you need to understand what the person is saying to you. And if you look at that, back then, there's this instrument whereby if you speak through it, that's what the other person will hear. So it means that this person in red, okay, is trying to pass a message across to the receiver, but he was listening. So at the same time, if he removes that from his ears, definitely he won't get the message. All right. We need to adjust our communication style and content based on the stakeholders' role, knowledge level, and interest. We should tailor our message to our audience. As business analysts, what you are saying must be tailored to your audience. So that is you ensuring that your message is easily understood by all stakeholders, regardless of their technical background. Now, if you look at it, communication in itself, we have elements in communication, right? So the elements of communication, I said use clear, jargon-free language. I understand when you meet business analysts, you see them buzzwords all around there, trying to ensure that they tell you the way it is. However, when you're in the business setting, use business languages. When you are within the technical team, ensure that you use the technical team or speak their language. Let me put it that way. So, going back to elements of communication, the word we use, our body language, the tone of our voice. According to research, we've seen it that 55%, okay, of the way we communicate is through our body language. So you might say something and the receiver might not get it. Okay, 7% the words you use, 38% your tone of voice. So practice effective communication. If you are not even doing this percentage, ensure that your body language, the tone of your voice, and the word you use aligns with what you are trying to say or the message you are passing across. Right now, we've established effective communication. How do we build credibility? Sarah tried her best to build credibility and also show that she has that talent, or she has that power to influence people within our organization. How do we build credibility? Through our expertise. All right. We need to as business analysts, we need to establish ourselves as a knowledgeable and reliable professional. Okay. And how do we do this? That is why we say we should become a subject matter expert. And I will use Thea as an example here. You know, I once told that and I said, you are the magnet. Yeah, sometimes you are the magnet and you have a whole lot of forces, bring them together. That is the power of influence without authority. So when you become a subject matter expert, okay, you develop deep knowledge in your domain and related business processes. How do we do this? You regularly keep yourself up to date. Know the best practices. Okay, understand the latest trend, industry practices that will help you to become a better business analyst. And I will give an example. So in BABOK community, we were able to practice or go through a series called the BABOK guide, you know, going through it for 6 weeks. And we treated that series. Do you know the funny thing? Immediately we finished that series, because I tried my best, or I keep, myself to understand the trend out there so that I can produce something that's quality, that's good quality. Because the best way you can give back, add value to people, is when you deliver consistently high quality work. So what happened? I observed that there was a recent publication, a recent update on the BABOK guide itself, which we call errata. And what is errata? It means that there were some errors, not really errors, but some correction, which you need to know. Immediately, I said, you know what? I need to share this with the community. Why am I sharing that? So that we can all stay abreast. You can all know that something has changed here and you need to know. Okay? So when we meet deadlines, we provide accurate analysis and we offer valuable insights to build trust and respect. Once we've done this, we know that the next line of action of what we need to do is to work on our stakeholders. Now, what did Sarah do? I'll go back to that story. Sarah was able to gather a requirement. Sarah was able to, map out strategies that will help her bring them together as a team and also work on the project. So, how do we leverage stakeholder mapping as a business analyst? Identify and prioritize key stakeholders. What did she do? She identified all our stakeholders and she said, you know what? Before pushing out the proposal, I will have informal chat with them. Let me see what their pain point is, what their view is about this particular project. So she identified them and that worked for her. So when you create a comprehensive list of all stakeholders and you assess their importance to the project or initiative, it will help you to influence without authority. When you analyze each stakeholder's motivation, pain point, and level of influence within the organization, this is a tool or this is a requirement that will help you excel in influencing others. So, understanding stakeholder interest and influence. I'm sure we are all conversant with this image, okay? So, when we develop tailored approaches for each stakeholder based on their position, using the stakeholders map, you see that we have different categories, different segments, and we must align the engagement strategies together. Okay, so we've tried our best. We've said effective communication. We were able to build relationship. You're able to leverage on the stakeholder to know their pain point, to understand, creating your comprehensive list together. So now we've been able to map them according to what we need to get from them. Now, I said two things, and this was said in my previous, podcast. I said, as a business analyst, the two brothers, I call them two brothers, two R's. The first one, requirement. The second one, relationship. As a business analyst, if you have these two guys, you are good, and it will help you in your journey. So, talking about relationship, how do we foster relationship? We have to be open about our objective, challenges, and progress. Sarah tried her best. She said, you know what? I will take you guys through the journey. Transparency, accountability, you will know what is going on. And that's what she did. So you build trust through transparency. You cultivate, as business analysts, we should cultivate relationship beyond our immediate team. And when you do that, it gives you the ability to influence seamlessly. Okay, so it will help us to gain diverse perspectives and support, rather than when you don't have that relationship, when you've not fostered the relationship, it will be difficult. You might experience blockers. So create a network of allies across departments. Sarah created that across all the departments. She had informal chat with them. She got their perspective. She was able, to tell them, to say, this is the way it is. All right. So while doing that, engage in informal interaction. So I know that people say, go to work, do your work, and leave and do other things like that. It's way beyond that. If you really want to be influential without authority, have a chit chat, be friendly, smile. Okay, engage in informal discussion, participate in events, join cross-functional teams, initiate casual conversations to strengthen connections. Don't just go to work and say, you know what, I'm just gonna do everything I need to do and I'm out. Or while you are even, perhaps it's virtual, try to foster a relationship. So when we've done this, how do we align it to organization objectives? How did Sarah align all these qualities to the company's overall project, to the company's overall objective? You know what she did? She demonstrated how our value, our input, will support what the CEO requested for, okay, which supports the organizational goals and increases your influence. So when you are productive, when you are valuable, when you've made yourself an expert in your field, in your domain, it clearly articulates how your recommendations can contribute, to achieving strategic objectives. Connecting proposals to company goals, that's connecting your values, connecting your output to company's goals. When you highlight the mutual benefit, now let's look at this. So when you quantify the potential impact of your value, okay, and also the business outcome. So everything Sarah did, okay, she was able to ensure that the business, the project was a success. And this is using influence. Remember, she doesn't have any fancy title. She doesn't have any authority, but she influenced the team. So Sarah practiced what we call empathy and respect. So we need to take time as business analysts. We need to take time to comprehend the challenges and priorities of each stakeholder. She said, I was able to understand their pain point. And she said to the IT guys, don't worry. That's reassuring them. You won't do this alone. We will do it together. We will go the extra mile. This team must work. So now tell me, as a business analyst, right, you have someone offering to help you, in your task. Now tell me, if the person comes to you the second day or the third day or whatever, and she said, you know what, can you do this for me, please? Will you say no? I will leave you to answer that question. Okay. So understand stakeholders' perspectives, address concerns proactively, show genuine interest in others' goals. Sarah showed genuine interest with the IT guys. She really wanted to know how to help them. As business analysts, we need to anticipate potential objections and prepare thoughtful responses or solutions. All right. So while doing that, I will drop this here. If you have any questions from what I've discussed earlier, you can use this link, drop your questions there, and we go on. So After Sarah did all that, she was able to put the team together. She was able to ensure that everybody is working as a team, not working in silo now. Collaboration, foster relationship. So I'll give few nuggets based on what we've discussed earlier. If you've missed everything I've said initially, don't miss this part. Okay? So, quick nugget for business analysts. And this is for business analysts, and you can use it anywhere. Always start with the why. I know this might sound like a broken record, but you know, there's rule of thumb and there's a principle that says whatever you keep hearing over and over sticks better. Okay? Always start with the why behind the project or initiative. Understand the business drivers. Okay? So understanding the business drivers help in aligning solutions with organization goals. Effective communication is key. You cannot overemphasize this. Effective communication is key. Tailor your message to your audience. Use business language with executives and technical terms, IT teams. Leverage data visualization tools. I know we have a whole lot of them out there. Power BI, Tableau, Excel, you mention it. To present complex information in an easily digestible format. And you know what comes to mind here? You know, we use BPMN to ensure that we break processes into sub-processes and understand what's going on there to make it simple. So when you use data visualization, working on a project or, you know, trying to push information out there, this will help you. So stay updated on industry trends and emerging technologies. Continuous learning is crucial in the rapidly evolving business landscape. This is super duper important. All right. As business analysts, we need to develop a toolkit of various analysis techniques. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat, pursue, root cause analysis, name it, and know when to apply each. Going forward, practice active listening. During stakeholder interviews, often, now this is key, often what's not said is as important as what is said. As a business analyst, this is really, really important for us. We must be solution-oriented, but remain objective. So your role as a business analyst is to provide unbiased analysis and recommendation. Now, Sarah, based on our analysis, you know, based on what she got from a study of feasibility study, requirement gathering from key team members, she was able to analyze, recommend best solution without issues. All right. I remember that, you know, I used to say this, and I still saw it on my LinkedIn today. I said, you know what? While gathering requirements, don't become a secretary. And the person asked me, the person said, please, what do you mean? And I said, you know, it's just, I'm not I'm not saying that role is bad, but as business analyst, you need to tailor that to what you do rather than doing more of the admin duties. So document everything, be clear. Coincide documentation saves time and reduces misunderstandings in the long run. We as business analysts, we know that when you get it right, it's fine. But when you get it wrong, there's problem. Either you are wasting resources or otherwise. All right, embrace change management principles. Remember that implementing solutions often requires changing people's behavior and processes. If I go back to that quadrant now, that is really helpful. Persuasion, influence, not coercion, not manipulation. So if you want to influence without authority as business analyst, we need to remember all these techniques. Cultivate relationships across the organization. A strong network can provide valuable insight and support for your project. If you build and foster good relationship with your team members, even outside your network, it makes everything beautiful. You don't have issues. It makes you work better, flexible, without blockers as well. So I mentioned earlier, I said 2 R's: requirement, relationship. As business analysts, we need those 2 guys, the 2 brothers. All right. Remember, as business analysts, we are the bridge between ideas, implementation, between problems and situations and solutions rather. So it's it's on us to see the big picture while managing the details is what sets us apart. I'll repeat that. Our ability to see the big picture, our ability to see that I need to foster a relationship, I need to communicate effectively, I need to understand the order of importance, for my stakeholders. I need to put the list together. Who are the most important people I need to make this work? While managing the details is what sets us apart. Okay, at this point, if you have questions for me, comment, please let me know.
David, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat at the moment. However,
I have one question.
There's Olga. Speak up, Olga.
Hi.
Hello.
It's more like a question to everybody. So what I noticed, well, after the COVID outbreak, when everybody got remote, that it became like more difficult to build trust and engage into informal relationships with the colleagues. Because when you work remotely, there's just no space for impromptu conversations, right? When you work in the same environment, in the same location, you can, from time to time, you meet everybody, like people, the team in a cafeteria, or you can go to a lunch to have a lunch. You can, you can like find out that you have some common values and so on. And that's the way to build trust and informal relationships and so on.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the same thing? And how do you like make it possible to do that remotely?
David,
Okay.
you want to answer first?
Yeah. Any other person before I take that question?
Sorry,
right.
what is this a question?
Say again.
Did you have a, did you ask something?
No, I said any other person. Any other person before I answer your question.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Holga, thank you. I hope I pronounced that well. Please pardon me if it's not correct. Please correct me. Okay. So, there's something we normally do, and I don't know if it is, practiced everywhere. Virtually, anytime we jump on a call, we always have few minutes to engage each other or engage as a team, right? Outside, outside work and all. So what we do is we try to either educate ourselves, on what is going on out there and, just keep ourselves updated, or we discuss something that will bring mutual discussion right before the meeting itself. So I understand that when you work remotely, there's some limits to your interaction, if I put it that way. Okay. At the same time, I know that there's a way we can foster that, that mutual communication, trying to see. So if I want to apply what I'm saying right now, we have stand-ups. Okay, stand-ups can be virtual, can be on site. When you have ceremonies or you have stand-ups, there should be a sort of room to engage people, and also know that you can use all these nuggets, right there. So it's not a one-way thing to say, oh, okay, based on people working just on site, that's when you can apply all this. Even though you are working virtually, you can still apply them. I hope I've answered your question, Olga.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you for asking the question.
We have
Any other person?
We have literally 3 minutes before the end of our call. Does anyone else have
Yeah.
a question for David?
Any other person? Anyone else?
I'll just add to what you comment now that probably some of the things, like, yes, it's really hard now that everybody's gone virtual to create those informal relationships. Usually when I'm in the office, that usually happens in the kitchen area, or like as you are in the elevator and that's left, or however you call it, and things like that. What I saw in a project manager that I really like was that he used to ask at the beginning of some meetings, what was two good things that happened on the weekend and one bad, or like questions like that, just to, even though the meetings were short, to just try to do some icebreakers at the beginning. Usually at the beginning, when you log into a meeting, sometimes people take, extra 5 minutes, they're 5 minutes late or things like that. And in that space of time, while you're waiting for everybody to log into the meeting, I also use that space to try to start a conversation with people, to just make it feel like you are in the same room and you're waiting for somebody else. Break a joke or something. But it is definitely hard, and especially hard when the person I work in my workplace, we are a national organization, so most of the times I don't know the people that I'm working with, and you have to create those relationships online anyway. But yeah, that's my 2 cents for that.
That's more than 2 cents, I must say. Thank you for your contribution.
I just started reading this book. It's called Extraordinary Badass Agile Coaching. And on page 141, they have something called check-ins that exactly talks about what you're talking about. It gets either people focused on the project, or it helps them unload things that are distracting them, or it gives them opportunities to get to know each other. And they have check-ins at the beginning of every single meeting, and they allocate the time, just like Andrea said, to let people get to know each other.
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent book. I recommend it. It's by Bob
Yeah.
Galen. Here it is. Bob Galen wrote
That's a
this
good book, I must
and
say.
he ran the workshop that I attended, and the check-ins are a phenomenal way to do it. David, thank you so much. We are at the end of our time. What
Thank
you
you
brought
for having me.
reminded us of the humanness and the empathy that we need to have to be able to create the authority so that we can be effective business analysts. Folks, if you don't know, David has an entire community, the DOBAC in the UK. In fact, it's midnight or 1 o'clock in his time now because he is from the UK and he stayed up to present this to us. So give him some love. Go see the DOBAC or community. He's created a great establishment in the UK to help business analysis advance. So thank you again, David. And folks, we'll see you back
Thank
here
you.
next
Thank
week.
you, Tia. Thank you, everyone, for having me. It's great to be here.
I'm so glad you came. Okay, see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.